the meals in my home growing up were not gourmet. They were, my dad was more. He was on the health. My mom's an Irish cook, which means the salt was in the garage for melting snow.
Jim Brewer.
Jim Brewer.
Jim Brewer.
Jim Brewer.
Jim Breuer.
Hey, this is Jim Brewer.
Jersey by the Count Basie Theater. That was so good. Oh my God, I still think of that night.
Which, the 2 nights that you guys did there?
We only did one night, but we did 2 shows. So
Two
we did
shows. That's what I meant. Yeah.
Yeah, we did 2 shows in Count Basie. The Count Basie Theater in Red Bank. And Chef David Burke was like, "Hey man, why don't you come to my restaurant?" He said, "I can't come to the show because he was opening. When he was on, he was talking about opening a new place in the Carolinas. I can't remember if it was like in a Marriott or whatever. I'll ask him about it. And so he was there for the grand opener, and then so it was me, Joe, Rich Aronovich, my nephew, and John Michael, and we all went there, and it was, oh my gosh, it was so good. I felt like I was in a movie. I felt like I was in a killer movie scene where like they serve you the greatest food ever and all that. It was just, oh my gosh.
Yeah, I know. I missed out on it. I ended up going out to eat with my friends, and Rich Aronovich took my spot.
Were you in New Jersey at that time?
I was with you guys. Yeah, I was. That was the run from New Hampshire all the way down to Baltimore, then across to Wisconsin. That whole 10-day thing. Yeah.
Oh, that's right. You and
Rich took my spot. Yeah.
Rich took your spot. You let Rich Aronovich take your spot. I think I think he even wore his outfit to dinner.
Did he?
I'm joking. So, bro, yeah, I might go back to Africa. Isn't that crazy? South Africa this time for a whole month.
Have you been down that way in Africa?
Yeah, a long time ago. So I went to.
That's right. You said Durban. Yeah, you've been there.
Yeah, because the band Metallica, they invited me. I still have some of that footage. They were performing in Africa for the first time. They're like, "Hey, you want to come down? We'll do a safari for a couple days down there." So we all landed in Johannesburg. It was the whole band. And it was funny. Dee and I, my wife and I, walked. We said, because the shows didn't start for like another day or two. And so let's go to the zoo. And we found out how far it was. So we walked. We're like, yeah, let's walk to the zoo. And we walked to the zoo, and we had a great day at the zoo. And we came all the way back. And people like, oh, the people at the gate were like, where are you guys coming from? Like, oh, we went to the zoo. Like, what do you mean went to the zoo? The taxi dropped you. Why didn't the taxi drop you off up here? I went, oh, we walked. I went, you walked? Are you crazy? Do not do that again. I'm like, why? You know how dangerous it is? Like, dangerous. I didn't sense anything. Yeah, we had no. I don't know. We walked. We didn't sense any danger. We walked. No one stopped. No one yelled at us. No one. I mean, maybe at nighttime it's a little crazy. So we went from Johannesburg to Cape Town. We were in Cape Town for a couple days. Then we were in a place called Durban, and then we went on a little safari for like 4 nights. It was pretty amazing. One of the greatest. There are 2 things that happened on that trip. One was me, the bassist for Metallica, Rob Trujillo. 2 other people from their camp. So we were supposed to go on a walking safari, just a little walk.
Yeah.
And all I remember is the two guys that were our guides were really young. They were kids. They were like 21, 22 South African kids. And they were totally starstruck by Metallica. And the kid brings us to wherever, you see like a giraffe over there, and we're on a river, and there's an elephant in the water. And he goes, just want to let you all know, the gun that I have, it's locked and doesn't work. So and we're all kind of looking at each other like, okay, well, is that like bad? Like, because is anyone uncomfortable? Now here's what it is. We're all, I was uncomfortable. I don't want to be walking in the middle of nowhere where there's lions and leopards and whatever and predators. And they go, listen, it's and the only one who spoke up was my wife. Dee was like, yeah, I'm a little uncomfortable. And one of the other people like, yeah, this lady Sheila was like, yeah, it's a little weird. What do you think? And he goes, as long as we stay in a single line. And he goes, if we encounter any big cats or predators, don't run. Just don't run.
Nope.
So I think it was my wife said, I'm sorry, but I'm going to run. There's no way that I can't guarantee that my instinct is not going to say, don't run. I don't know. I'm going to scream and run. And so we went on this walk anyway. I pretended I wasn't petrified. I was petrified. And I don't remember anything but just being scared the whole time. And to this day, every time I see Rob Trujillo of Metallica, he always brings out like, dude, that walk. I went, I know, because that was scary. I went, I know. Why didn't we say, like, Metallica could have ended in South Africa from our dumb walk? So stupid. And even on this past one, I went on walks. Guy always brings guns. He always has a gun in his hand. You never know.
Just in case.
Yeah. So
wait, you said on that trip you went to Johannesburg, Durban, and Cape Town?
Yeah.
Dude, I'm looking at the map, man. That's a pretty big distance. Like, how long did it take to get to? Well, Durban's closer to Johannesburg, but Cape Town's on the completely opposite side.
Correct. And I wish I remember the other bands playing. I bet you gotta look it up, like Metallica touring Africa. I'm gonna say it was like 2005,
2006. Cape
2006.
Town, South Africa. Yeah. Harvest. Harvester.
It comes
Sorrow.
up.
Yeah, there's a couple, I guess, videos
And I remember
from it.
I remember the sound went out during Blackened. And dude, I'll never forget Lars from the stick, because I'm sitting on the sound stage, and Lars goes, dude, where's Jim Breuer? Have him come up here and talk for a minute. I'm like, what? I ain't getting up in South Africa. No one knows who I am here. Are you crazy? That was such an incredible. I got footage of that. I have to find that footage. I have it somewhere. I don't know where the frick I have that from. I have a bunch of footage. But the one thing I remember that whole trip was that walk. And one night we sat in the middle of a field at nighttime in the middle of, and we just turned off all the lights, and we watched this incredible storm just going overhead, this lightning storm, and then as it passed, the stars that came out. I've never seen stars like that in my lifetime since then. Yeah.
You don't have that that like light pollution that we have here in the States.
No, you don't have any of that. Oh, here we go. Let's just get to Chef Burke. I don't want to waste his time. Big man.
Hi.
What are you, relaxing?
I actually took a 15-minute break. Yeah, I wouldn't call it a power nap, but I got a recliner over there with my name on it, and sometimes I just I do the Archie Bunker.
I like the entrepreneur. I'm at that stage too where I'm starting to take naps too. So
Yeah.
I'm not going to waste your time. I got one. I just want to. The last time we spoke, you were talking about opening your new place in the Carolinas.
Oh yeah.
It was like Burger Pizza, the Goat or
Goat
something.
pizza, greatest of all time pizza. Goat pizza,
And
and it's open.
where do we go for that?
That's Cornelius, North Carolina, and it's near Lake Norman. It's a northern suburb of Charlotte.
And how's it doing?
Doing great. In fact, we opened in April, I think April, yeah, and we had a strong couple months, and then summer set in, so it softened a little with with summer people on boats and barbecuing, and
Yeah.
now we're cranking up. It's football season. It's a sports, so it's a sports themed, fast casual restaurant, family friendly, with a big bar, outdoor seating. In fact, on Memorial Day, we're doing our first pizza eating contest, like the Nathan's hot dog contest. We
Ah.
have that going on. I think there's 10 contestants to start. 10 minutes. Who can eat the most margarita pizzas? And that'll be a biannual event. We'll do one now, and we'll do one near Christmas, or between Christmas and New Year's. We'll do a turkey pizza or something like that.
I might have to head that way. You got to keep me. I would fly to the Carolinas to either participate
Yes.
or be part of that and be an announcer.
Well, I think we're gonna. But next time we get back up to your area you grew up in, we're gonna probably have a Go Pizza in Flemington within the next year.
Oh, no kidding.
Yeah.
You were talking about too, like opening those. I don't want to give them a shameless plug in Marriott's. Like you were trying to make deals
No,
with
no,
Marriott.
no. Well, we're looking. Listen, we're looking to get this one sorted out and up to speed and ready to expand. Yeah, whether we put them in airports and hotels or
It's a whole
malls or
Okay.
different cities. The greatest of all time. Even though it's sports, we have this thing where you can nominate the GOAT of the week. It could be a crossing guard, a comedian, a chef, your grandmother, the police chief, the coach of the wrestling team, and whoever gets nominated in that community gets put on our little billboard in there and gets to be the GOAT of the week.
I'm ashamed of myself. I was just in Morristown too, and I should have went to your place there too. I wasn't.
But we have another red horse in Bernardsville, even closer to where you grew up.
I know.
Not to mention, we have a speakeasy supper club called the Bernie downstairs, and we've had a couple of we got a good sound system and a good light, and we've had a couple of good bands down there. Joe Piscopo might play, so you might want to take a look at that because it'd be great to have you in there.
That's the one in Bernardsville?
It's in the basement of the Bernards Inn. It has its own entrance. There's a 100-seat little club down there. We've had comedy. We had a Grateful Dead band, a Billy Joel tribute band, sold out. Sound system, acoustics, good. We do comedy. We don't do, not at your level,
Sure.
but we do it, and it sells out at, 90 people, 100 people. We do right now. It's about $95 a head, and you get a 3-course meal and a comedy, and then your drinks are on top of that. People, that community is high end, but it's an adult hangout. You know what I mean? It's not a Morristown bar.
I got you. I don't need to. Do I have to wear a jacket?
No. Okay. No, it's not. It's not that.
Don't dress up in flip flops.
That was 40 years ago, Jim.
Yes, that was 40 years.
We don't even put coat rooms in our restaurants anymore.
I don't think anyone does anymore. So
people they don't put overcoats on. They don't wear fur coats. Nobody wears a top hat anymore. And people either valet or Uber, and they bring their coats to the seat.
Yeah. That's the way to do it. So I have 3 questions for you from an inspiring young chef. He was up in New Jersey. Now he's down here in Florida. So I say, hey, can you hop on? He's like, no, I'm working, but can you ask blah, blah, blah? I said, okay.
Sounds like a chef.
Yes, exactly. So here's what I got. This is from Noah. What is the most influential meal of your childhood. The one that if you had right now would take you back to the exact moment you first had it. Was it a home cooked meal or somewhere you went with your family? What was that meal, if any? That's a tough one,
It's an
right?
interesting question because the meals in my home growing up were not gourmet. They were, my dad was more. He was on the health. My mom's an Irish cook, which means the
Cool.
salt was in the garage for melting snow. So the
as my meal was we're having hot turkey sandwiches, which I thought was the greatest thing ever. It was just deli turkey with Heinz brown gravy on white bread, and I
yeah,
thought I was eating a 4-course meal. Yeah. So
right, that was like turkey Wellington. Yeah.
yes.
So I had, we had pork chops. I mean, I grew up with roast baked chicken, baked pork. You name it, it was baked until it was cooked, and applesauce was the savior.
Shake and bake.
Applesauce. We did shake and bake once in a while, yeah. Ziti,
Shake
baked
and
ziti, simple stuff,
Ooh.
meatloaf,
Okay.
Salisbury steaks, burgers here. Anyway, I would say the first memorable meal, um, well, I had French toast made by my father.
Wow. Interesting.
He was a pretty good breakfast cook. He made me peanut butter sandwiches with bananas. So he made a peanut butter and banana sandwich, and he dipped it in French toast, and cooked it.
Oh, wow.
And this peanut butter, and here's what he did, which is interesting. He would cook them like that, So it was a sandwich made into French toast. The peanut butter would get warm. The bananas were sliced thin. And then somehow he figured out he would put maple syrup in the hot pan with jelly, combine that together and pour it over the sandwich. So it was a peanut butter and jelly French toast, banana. And I'm telling you, that was the best. We have a cold glass of milk. Now, he made that for us on a Sunday morning. I
Right.
converted that to my high school after smoking a little something
Sure.
and going home with my buddy.
Right. Of course. That's a
That
whole
was
new level.
that was the ultimate munch out, slits for eyes, and we'd be eating that at 3:30 in the afternoon, and my mother would come home from work and we would be like in a trough, like farm animals eating this.
All right.
So
I like that. Dang, I might have to try that at home. That's
that's pretty easy, actually, but it's better than just French toast.
yes, I agree. Okay.
You can make the sandwiches, earlier, and just dip and go. But I've
Any time
used
of the
that
day.
as we do that with Nutella and some other things too. It's a nice variation. But breakfast, I love the breakfast. I still like breakfast.
I do too. I can eat. I love places that serve breakfast all day. That's because sometimes I always resort to eggs. I'm an egg guy.
Yeah, I'm an egg man.
I like the egg sandwiches. I still just resort to the egg sandwiches. All right. I think we covered this a little bit on the last one. However, being a chef of your caliber comes with immense amount of stress. How have you found what is the best way to deal with that stress over the years?
It's a good question too.
That is a good question.
Well, years ago when I was younger, you would stay out all night drinking. And you would take the energy from the ball field or the kitchen after a busy night, and you would go out and decompress and unwind with the boys or the culinary team or the waiters. And New York City's open late, and that's how you did it back then. You work 6 days a week, so you don't have time, and you're off on a Monday, so you're not golfing, you're not hiking, you're recuperating after 60, 70 hours a week. So some people run, some people, I just worked, I collected art. I started to blow glass at one time. I would go to farmers markets, stroll the streets. We all like to go out to eat and all de-stress. Usually, if you have a girlfriend or something, you figure out what to do on your day. Theater's interesting. I like to go. I don't go every time I go, I'm like, I got to do this more. You're living in New York, you get the best theater district, right? And comedy shows and or art galleries. Those are types of things you can do. I went to the opera last year for the first time. I thought I was not going to like it. I quite liked it. I was with a violin player, and that was, there's plenty to do. I tend to take walks. I swim once in a while, and I write. I try to write things. It's hard though when you're really wound up in it. I'm sure
Yeah.
you have a hard time relaxing too, because your brain is on all the time. And when your brain is always on, you got to get it off what you do for a living and onto something else.
Yeah.
Otherwise, you got to get. I try to get some joy from nature.
Me too.
I live
That's
near
my
the
joy.
water. I like the woods. I like to,
Mm.
I drive a lot. So if you do drive and you're driving in, not necessarily on the Jersey Turnpike, but in some nice back roads like where Chester is and
Oh.
Burnsville, it's nice to take a ride like that. So that's, you got to find the you also need your rest. You got to have your sleep, because without it, you just keep, you destroy yourself. So I need to get, 6-7 hours of sleep. And then you can go. And again, I'm sure what you do and what I do is similar in the fact that we're adrenaline junkies.
Yes.
We get off on the highs. We always looking for that. We can work nonstop as long as it's going good. But when it's going bad, it's hard. When a business is off, or you had a bad show, or chef quit, or something's wrong, it becomes then your feet hurt. When your feet hurt, everything hurts.
I was just at a big event at the something chateau up in Jersey. It was a huge event. But what I loved was the guy that runs this place, this guy named Fred Fogg. He runs this whole event, and he just kept coming out and staring at everything. And I said, are you okay? He goes, yeah. He goes, how when you look at the crowd and they're howling and they're having a good time. He goes, this is my crowd. They're howling. I want to make sure they're howling. I want to make sure they're laughing and having a good time, because I love seeing I love seeing the creation being done. All this planning, all these months, and all the fine detail is now. I get a joy just watching it all unravel. Are you sort of in that same world, or are you so wound up in it? Do you take time where you sit there and go, do you ever take time?
Well,
While you're in it?
No, I take time. When I walk into a restaurant on a busy night, I know right away, as soon as I see the crowd, how it's going. I can read the crowd. I can know whether the drinks got there on time, the food is good, the music's right, because they look at you with happiness, and they don't look at you with like, oh.
Right.
It's a bad night. You can feel it. And I like, for example, we're doing a restaurant at the U.S. Open right now. It's called Mojitos by David Burke. Super, super busy. There's and we do it for 2 weeks, 2.5 weeks. So we open up and we do a lot of business with a crew that's somewhat trained, but it's some of my team and some other people. Yeah. And this year it's been great. We have a new menu. We were organized. Levy Group does it with us. And, and then when you walk in and you can see the crowd in that. This started on Monday. It runs for the next couple of weeks.
Yeah.
And you look at the food going out. They built us a fresher kitchen, a little bigger, so it's easier. And then the food coming out the way it was designed, the way it's supposed to look, the way it's seasoned, pretty and clean. And all of a sudden, you get that pride. You're like, this is we got it right. Yeah. And then there's other times where, you got to work harder, because not necessarily the planning wasn't right, but you might not have the right quarterback in the kitchen, or the right quarterback in the dining room, meaning the chef and the manager, or they're not coaching correctly together. And, that's Babe Ruth strikes out sometimes.
This is true. All right, last one. Let's see. Everyone needs someone to take a chance on them at some point. Who took that chance on you, and how did it change your life?
That's a super good question.
Yeah, he's got good questions. Noah, I got to tell Noah he's got good questions.
That's
this kid,
good question.
I got to push him. I got to push this kid. Yeah.
I've got 2 people that gave me chances. One, when I was in high school, I wasn't really a cook. I was a prep cook. I did the chopping and the breading and, but being a cook is when you're on the line. It's like saying, it's like being a drummer, not the guy that puts a drum kit together. You know what I mean? So
Right.
actually knowing how to play it. So prep cooking is, you're dicing and chopping and breading things, and they tell you that you're doing things. But to work on the line, which is the cooking area, you're dealing with the fire, the heat, the coordination, temperature, seasoning, sauces. So you're a cook. You're not a prep cook. So I was a prep cook in high school, and no one gave me a chance. They want to teach me. So I went to a country club, and again, this guy's name was Jose, and I'm still friendly with him. This was 1977. And I told him I was a prep cook, but I said, if you tell me once, Jose, chef, I said, I will. I'm a quick study. I'm a strong kid. I'm pretty smart. So you show me once. I'm so desperate. And I had a knife kit with me, because I'm writing an autobiography, and we interviewed him, and he said the kid had a knife kit with him. And when I saw that, I was like, he's serious, right? I walked in with my own little box of knives and stuff. And so I said, I never worked on a line. I don't know how to cook on a line, but I know how to work. And he goes, I said, show me once and you got it. He goes, do me a favor, go upstairs, tell the manager that you were a broiler cook at the Sheraton Hotel in Homedale, New Jersey, where I was a prep cook. I said, yeah, but I wasn't. And he goes like this to me. He goes, go upstairs and tell him you were. And I said, but I wasn't. He goes, you just told me if I told you once, you could do it. I said, I get it. Oh, I get it. You want me to lie? I said, I can do that. So I go up. He goes, it's not a lie. It's just he's not going to ask you if you were. You're going to tell him. So you're just making small talk. So I go up there and he goes, well, Jose says you're pretty good. He goes, you're awfully young to be a cook of that caliber. I said, yeah, I started young. I'm a quick study. He goes, good. You can start Tuesday. And that's how I got a job. So Jose gave me the first break. And he taught me how to be a great line cook. Not a good one, a great one. Now,
wow.
The second opportunity was when I got an opportunity to be the chef at the world-famous River Cafe in Brooklyn, 26 years old. So now it's 10 years later from this one, after college, after this. And I was the sous chef for 2 years under a famous chef. And I was going to leave with that famous chef to open this other restaurant. His name was Charlie Palmer. And the owner came and offered me the chef job. And I was like, listen, I can't run this place. I'm only 26. And he says, you're already running it. He goes, I said, who says? He says, all the waiters, everybody. We know that the sous chef does a lot of the heavy lifting. And he goes, I'm willing. I said to him, I can't take a chef job because I haven't studied pastry yet. He goes, well, we got 9 months. He goes, if you want, we can send you to a great pastry. Go pick anywhere you want to work. I'll pay for it. And I tried to get a job in LA working for this great pastry chef. He told me to go to school in Paris. And the owner of the River Cafe sent me to Paris. I lived on a barge and I went to pastry school and I worked in pastry shops for 6 months.
Wow.
Well, that was the other guy that took a chance. And then I took that restaurant to great levels of success and stayed there for another 5 years.
Does that place still exist?
Oh, yeah. It's under the Brooklyn Bridge. It's one of the best restaurants in America. It's called the River Cafe.
Oh, wow. See, yeah, he I got to push this kid in the direction. That's what he said. He always wanted to be it. Now he's kind of in one of those things. And I was like, this is a great opportunity just to if you're going to ask a chef, this is who you do. So, amazing. I have one last question for you and I'll let you go. My daughter just applied to culinary school. And if they were to go to school, is that New York one the best? The
CIA?
Yeah.
That's the best. That's where I went.
Okay.
It's up in Hyde Park, New York. There's also
she mentioned there, and she mentioned like
Johnson and Wales, Cornell.
Where's that?
Providence, Rhode Island.
Providence.
My son went there. I got a doctorate degree from Providence, from Johnson and Wales. Okay. So they're both excellent.
Okay.
Now, one might be better suited depending on her goals, and she can always call me. My son went to Johnson and Wales because he went more for management. The Culinary Institute of America does both, but when I went to the CIA, the Culinary Institute of America, it was only a 2-year program, and it was really only for chefs. Now they're both 4-year schools. So my advice to her is if she really wants to be a chef, they're both excellent schools, but you might look at an alternative to go to a school that for cooking that's 2 years. Because you don't need, in my opinion, you don't need 4 years of school to learn how to be a chef. Most
Gotcha.
of the training is on the job, but you do need having an education at that level if they can, number one, afford it and they want to spend 4 years doing it, is beneficial.
Got
But
it.
there's also other, and I'd be happy to talk to. But the CIA and the Johnson & Wales, there's Cornell University, which is more for hotel, restaurant, hospitality management. And there's other ones in the cities, and there's other community stuff. But the key for her, even after school, is to work for the best people. Don't work, try not to chase money. Go work because the real schooling and education comes after school. The learning, you want to be on the best team, right? If you get drafted out of college, you want to go to, you would want to have gone to the Patriots, right? To work with Brady and Belichick. So you're going to want to work with the people that know how to do it correctly.
Correct.
You're still a young sponge being molded, and then you can start creating your own ideas later.
I love it. I appreciate your time, man. Is there anything new coming up or anything like that you want to put out there? Say, hey, look for Chef David Burke over here or here.
Nothing
Okay.
yet, nothing to talk about yet. We're just fine tuning some of our properties.
Sure.
Working on, like I said, the Bernie down in Burnsville. And that's an exciting venture because now
I'm going to go check that out.
Now we're in the entertainment business, so to say, and it's a cool speakeasy. And when you're back up this way, you let me know, and
I will,
because I missed you. I don't know what I had to go out of town or something. I missed you at the.
You had to go. You were starting a North Carolina place.
Oh, that's what it was. Yes,
you were starting North Carolina. You had the grand opening, so I missed you too. I appreciate you coming on. I know your time is valuable, and you got to do your thing. And I appreciate everything about you. You put out nothing but quality, and you're a good human being. So I wish you the best. And we'll catch up another time.
Have a great weekend. Thank you.
You too, brother. Have a good one. Chef David Burke, everyone. Just look him up and you can see every single restaurant he has. How can you not want to eat at one of this guy's restaurants? So my daughter, I don't know if I told you this, Mike, but my daughter she just applied for culinary school, and he just gave a whole lot of information, and I still feel this kid Noah should apply. I mean, he's working right now, but it's very fascinating and interesting that he's always had a love and desire. But I love that Chef Burke thought his questions were really good, and he's going to love hearing that. And I don't know what my daughter's going to end up doing, whatever, but she's an incredible. I've never seen anyone with such passion for cooking. I didn't even know she did it. Like when she was finishing her last 2 years in school, she'd always be cooking in the morning, but she wouldn't just cook for herself. She'd have all these different sandwiches in the morning. I'm like, what are you doing? She's like, oh, I cook for the students. I'm like, what? What are you talking about? And she would cook and she'd give food away at school because she was cooking for everyone. And then she started cooking for us, and she would get very like, Dad, don't put salt and pepper on there. Try it. I'm like, whoa, easy. And I realized, wow, this kid is so passionate with what she's doing and her presentation, and she watched. And I really admire anyone that's doing anything with passion, and it's their passion thing. So whatever your passion is, or your children, because there's a lot of parents out there that just, hey, go to college and make money. It's nice to make money, but your life's health, your mental health, all of it, it's not always about the money. It's often about the passion. So find that passion. If there's something there that can drive you, you never know where it goes, and you'll feel so much better about yourself. And I hope you find that life, and it's never too late. It's never too late. If you're stuck somewhere, find your passion. Go for your passion. And my passion is talking to all of you. So thanks for checking out Chef Burke here on the Breuniverse. And I want to thank Noah for incredible questions. And we'll catch up next time soon on the Breuniverse. You guys have a good one until we talk to each other again. Take care.
Take a look around and what do you see? Lock the date down tonight, we'll make it history.
Hey, this is Jim Breuer, and I got my own Patreon page, and hopefully you'll check it out. Live comedy concerts streamed once a month. Early access to the Breuniverse podcast every single week, and have bonus footage and bonus segments. I promise you I'm not going to let you down. Go check out my official Jim Breuer Patreon page, and I'll see you there.